Hi, I'm David and I'm going to show you how to build a piece of curved railing today from this template. Customer has asked me to build it and it can't be done in one of the machines that we have. So here's a collection of tools that we're going to need for this job. A draw knife, a drill, a couple of straps, tape measure, pencil, etc. Not very much. We're also going to need something to strap it down to. I'm going to use the sawhorse, but if you have something a little bit more solid, that would be a good idea. And of course we need the template for this and the couple of bits of wood that are shaped in the right direction, plus the spindles. So I found a couple of pieces of wood that match my template, top and a bottom rail. So I'm going to lay out the ends of the log, and I'm also going to lay out where I'm going to drill the holes. So these posts are going to be 6 inch diameter, and the center is going to be 3 inches from the edge here. So this will be 3 inches from here to here. And then from the spacing between each spindle will be 6 inches approximately. And from here, from the center to the edge of the post, it will be 5 inches because it doesn't have a spindle to cut in here. So the actual spindles are 2 inches in diameter, and the space between the center of one and the center of the next one is 6 inches, and that will leave us with about a 4-inch gap, which is where code is. So I'm going to measure 3 inches in from the end, and that will give me my first that's where the edge of the post is here, and then it's going to be 5 inches to the first hole and 6 inches to the next hole, and so on. So this is where I'm going to peel it down, this last piece, to make the dowel or mortise to go into the post. And then where all the holes are where the spindles are going to go. I've just guessed at the center line because it's really, being a custom piece, it would be very difficult to actually get an accurate center. But by eye I can get most of the center, mostly in the center. On the end of the log, I'm going to pick basically the center of the log, which is roughly about here. And I'm going to take my template, which has a 3-inch hole on it, and I'm going to basically find the center of the log, draw a line around here, and I'll do that at both ends, and then I'll peel all of this outside off around the edge to leave myself with a dowel of 3 inches. So we got it strapped down to the sawhorse, and I'm going to start peeling, and I'll peel the end down to that circle that I drew on there. Always use your knife with this side, I don't know whether you can see, but the bevel side down. We're just going to peel it up to the line there. Before we unstrap this from the sawhorse and it's held nice and tight, I'm going to take my drill and drill out the holes so they're all basically in alignment and straight up and down, and this is the easiest way to do it. So repeat this operation for each hole, and do it on the top and the bottom. So the great thing about drilling the holes before you unstrap it is they'll all be in a straight line up and down. Then you can move the log around and just finish up the ends. So once you get the end peeled down close to the circle, you can take your template again and just see if it fits. The next thing is to just keep it coming down until you can slide this over the end. There's two ways you can do this. One is you can take your grinder The other one is to keep using the draw knife to finish it up. So one of the tricks to finding out where the high spots are is to take your template and run your pen or pencil around the edge of it like this. So you got some wet ink around the edges. And then slide it on here like this. And do that. And it leaves blue marks, or whatever color you're using, wherever there's a high spot. And then you just grab your knife and you peel those off. The whole way around. And you try the same process again until you can get it into the full length of where you need it to go. See, you got some more marks. I've turned the ends down, peeled them down, and now I've got about 5 inches to the center, so when it goes into the post will come to here and it will all work out. And I've done the same to the other end. So we're now at the point of assembly. As you can see, I've spent a bit of time and I've cleaned them up. I've sanded these ones because the original customers ones needed matching. So there's a top and a bottom rail. One of the key points is I always use the larger rail on the top and the smaller one on the bottom. And this is just a visual thing, so when you look down, you won't notice the bottom rail sticking out beyond the top rail. The second thing is, when I put it together, I take the smallest end and I match it up with the largest end at the other end. So when this goes on here, the large end on this rail and the small end go together, and vice versa at the other end. And that way it just gives a nice symmetrical look to the whole railing. And lastly, I have the spindles which I made in my other machine, and they're ready to go in, so they'll start fitting in here like this. Another part to this is if you put a large one in between small ones, it just visually spaces the whole thing out a little bit better than if you go small and then large. So when you put your top rail on, start with one end and work your way along. There we go. And if you tap on the bottom rail, if you put the top rail to the bottom and the bottom rail at the top, when you tap, if you damage the bottom rail at all, you'll never see it. Normally I'd put a piece of wood, but this fits nice and snug and easily, so I haven't bothered. So to make sure that you get the railing heights, centers of center, you measure both ends. So this is 33 3/4, and this end is 33 3/4. Okay, the final thing that we do, now we've got the heights and everything, is I put a piece of wood at each end. I put the top on it, so I know which way it goes in. I mark the number, so let's call this R1, and I put whether it's the left side or the right side. Then quickly before the rains start, well actually they've started, and it's beginning to get quite wet here. Oops. Screw in the top and the bottom, and I tend to leave the bottom a little longer, and that way it won't sit on the ground when it's transported, and it'll all stay together and it'll be ready to go in. When this goes into the post that goes here, these can get cut back a little bit if they need to be to fit them in, and then a screw goes through from underneath. A 4-inch screw goes through into the post, and that way it just locks it. So that's how you build a piece of hand railing. If you want to build straight railings, it's exactly the same way. We'll take a look at making posts for the end at some other point in time when I've got a few moments. So I hope you found this interesting. This is David Edgley. Till next time, have a good day.